I will now try to shortly explain a little bit about this chapter and the aspects of God's wrath. And what we can see here is that you have a faithful servant, which in this case was Ezekiel, and God shows this faithful servant how things are looking. And Ezekiel didn't seem to know about this, so it got revealed by God himself to him. And what you can see here is that it gradually moves from kind of lesser forms of errors to more and more severe form of errors. And the point of this, I think, is that God is trying to say that he sees everything. And there's no exception to it. And it is also shown that it's slow to anger, so it has happened a lot of things. It's not just one thing. It's like it begins here when it turns towards the north, and there was some kind of image which provokes his jealousy. And then it tells Ezekiel that there are greater abominations than this, and then he shows in another thing. And then he continues that there were even worse things than this, and worse things than this, and eventually he tells him how people think. And that you can read here in verse 12. It's that the people think that the Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. So, in this case, they believe we can do this with no repercussion, and they don't believe God sees this, you know. And they're dead wrong, okay? But it also mentions the women here, which means that it's not only the male portion of the people, it's also the females. And this means that the entire society is involved in these errors. And what this is to the situation is that it provokes God to anger. And since the house of Judah here is supposed to be a holy people, it is about believers. And what does it specifically mention here? He mentions, for instance, that they have filled the land with violence, and then they have returned to provoke me to anger. And the provocation here is about all those things we have read about here. And the conclusion, which is God's wrath here, is that therefore I will also act in fury. Here, verse 18. And my eye will not spare, nor will I have pity. And also mentions that even though they try, my ears, in my ears, with a loud voice, meaning that they will actually turn to God and ask Him to help them. Then it concludes that I will not hear them. And this is pretty final state for the people that get this judgment. If you would not want to be included into this group, because you basically undone. So the aspect of the wrath here is that it kind of grows gradually, takes a long time, but eventually will reach a point where enough is enough. And when he draws the line, there's nothing that will stop him from doing his from giving his people the judgments. And this is just soberly to think this is about believers, people that actually are considered to be his own. It doesn't even mention people that are not believers, So be soberly thought. I'll now continue to Ezekiel 9 in the next section. Thank you for listening.